The Xbox One X has been out for 10 days and I've put a ton of time into the system, so I feel I have spent enough time with it to give it a proper review. And you know what? Right off the bat, I'm going to say that the X is an incredibly impressive console that delivers exactly what was promised. And we're going to get into all the reasons why I think that right now in my review. What's going on, guys? Randall Thor 19, the man with the million, back again with another video. And I know what some of you are saying, this was to be expected, you're an Xbox fan, you're an Xbox fanboy, Rand, and I've never hid the fact that I have a preference for Xbox. It's a system that I game on every day and have since the last 12 years. All my friends are here that I have deep relationships with, all my purchases are here. I love getting on the Xbox, playing video games with my friends. But I wasn't always sold on the idea of the Xbox One X. I had a couple problems with this mid-gen upgrade, right? I didn't like the fact that there would be no exclusives, that it would just play the games that I could already play on my Xbox One S just better. And I didn't think that was going to be worthy of an extra $500. Well, after spending a lot of time with the system, I can say that this Xbox One X is worth every penny of the $500, and I was quite wrong on my original stance on the system. So you know what? Let's start at the console itself. It's roughly the same size as the Xbox One S. In fact, it looks virtually similar, except the X is a black matte finish while the S is completely white. I love the look of the system. I love the look of the Xbox One S. It's like two different teams at Microsoft designed these two systems in comparison to the original Xbox One. I think it is an attractive looking console and it looks nice next to my TV. You can lay it horizontally. The Project Scorpio edition, which the one I own, comes with the stand. So I actually have it horizontal because no actual discs go into the system because I am 100% digital. The power brick is included inside the system, and it's a little bit heavier than the S, but it's kind of an amazing feat of engineering since the S and the X are so similar in size, but the X is just outputting so much more power for these games. It's actually quite impressive. One of the things Microsoft did right by its users is the transition from the One S to the One X. It's literally as simple as pulling the cables from the former and plugging them straight into the near identical input layout on the X. Even in the lead up to the new system coming out, Microsoft let its users pre-download these 4K updates for the games. So all you had to do was click a box, a check mark. Your system would download the 4K updates for Gears, Halo, Tomb Raider, Shadow of War. And once you backed up your personal settings for your profile, unplugged the external hard drive, plugged it into the X, download a system update, you're ready to go. You didn't have to sit around and wait for 10, 30, 40 games to download their updates. You were ready to go day one as the patches were available. And I really think that was an awesome idea. And people looking to upgrade to the Xbox One X in the future can do that, and since there's 70 some odd games that are updated right now, they won't have to wait. It's plug and play, literally plug and play. And I salute Microsoft for making the transition as seamless as it is. Microsoft also made this big deal about accessories, like all your accessories moving forward, and that is true. Your headsets work, your controllers work, although I should mention that the Kinect does not. You need an adapter, which will cost you $40. They don't give those away for free. So if you are a Kinect lover, just know that you cannot plug it directly into the back of the system. You need to get an adapter. But I was never a fan of the Kinect. So good riddance to bad rubbish is what I say. Now, we're going to get into tech specs really fast. I don't really know what much of this means, but the difference between the S and the X is significant. This one has a 2.3 gigahertz processor. They made the big deal out of the 6 teraflop GPU and has 12 gigabytes of high-speed GDDR5 to give it that significant advantage, not only over the Xbox One S, but also over the PS4 Pro, and Microsoft has been claiming that it's 40% more powerful. And with all that power, the same size as the S, it is incredibly quiet. I rarely ever hear it kick on while I'm gaming with my headsets on. In a similar manner, when I can hear my PS4 Pro at startup, that system is quite loud. This one is much quieter. Now, all the stuff I just mentioned is fine and dandy, but it wouldn't amount to anything if the system didn't do exactly what Microsoft said it would do. They said it would be the most powerful console ever made, and it is. They said it would deliver 4K gaming, true 4K gaming, and it kind of does, although not in every single game, but that's a marketing term that I don't necessarily agree with. But the games are the reason to get the system because the improvements are noticeable, and jaw-dropping sometimes. Now, I'm not a PC gamer. I know a lot of you listening might be like, hey, a lot of these games that you're playing are running better on my $2,000 PC or $1,500 PC, and that's awesome. Enjoy your PC. I salute you. Play your games. You got my thumbs up. But I'm not a PC gamer. I'm a console gamer. I like the simplicity of the console. So the ability here to play some of these games that I already have, to play all the future games that are coming out like Far Cry 5, Red Dead Redemption 2, etc., etc., in the best way, the best resolution or the highest resolution that the developers can put in there, the best performance, whether it's the highest frame rate or locked frame rate, means a lot to me. And I didn't really understand what Microsoft was going for until I turned the system on. Phil Spencer said, once you see it, you'll believe it. And he is 100% right. Got the system, set it up, we just talked about all that stuff. And the first game I turned on was Gears of War 4 by the Coalition, and I was immediately blown away. But it just didn't stop there. I love the additional additions that they give, because Gears of War 4, even though it has that 4K mode, it has that 1080p 60 mode. And that was what I was most impressed in. A lot of games have that option to give you. Do you want the visuals that we can pump out, or do you want this mode that does 60 frames? Give me that. I love the ability to choose those options. And every single game I tried out, from Gears of War 4 to Halo 5 to Rise of the Tomb Raider to Star Wars Battlefront 2 to Call of Duty, they all look fantastic. And I immediately was a believer. I couldn't believe what I was seeing on my 4K television. The games looked fantastic, and there was virtually no performance issue. And I understood right then and there what Microsoft was aiming for. Now, the X is a console for the premium gamer, the one who plays all these games, the ones who want the best console experience. The one kind of drawback that I'm going to have to mention is the price of the system along with the TV. Now, we know the X is $500. That is a lot for a video game console. But to get the most out of it, not only do you have to buy the console at $500, you also have to have a 4K TV. And not all TVs are made the same. Sure, you can go out and buy a lower-end 4K television, or you can buy a high-end OLED for $3,000. And let me tell you, the TV that you buy is going to drastically affect your enjoyment and the visuals that you see of the system. TVs aren't created equal. You will see a much better picture on the higher-end television screens. So not only is the system expensive, but worth every penny in my opinion, especially and most notably if you are an Xbox gamer. If this is the platform where you game on every single day where your friends are, I think this is a purchase that I can 100% recommend to you. If that is the system that you game on every single day, then I think you owe it to yourself to upgrade. If you're a PlayStation gamer or a PC gamer, less so. You have your own platforms out there that you want, that you play on, that you have friends on. Getting the X isn't imperative as it would be someone like me who owns 1,000 games on the system, who's on there every single day for multiple hours gaming. This was a no-brainer. But I digress. You can also use the system for 1080p. Microsoft put in system-wide the super sampling, right? Where it would downscale an image, a 4K image, to the 1080p TV. So I know a lot of people out there haven't made the jump to 4K. And rightfully so. The TVs are expensive. Not everybody needs 4K because there's not a lot of 4K content out there to consume. But now with the X out, you have games that run in 4K or close to 4K. It has a 4K Blu-ray player if you want to watch your movies in ultra high definition. So more and more people are taking the jump to 4K. Now, if you still have a 1080p TV and you don't have the funds to buy an X, don't worry. You'll get a really good image out of the system. They haven't left you behind, is what I'm trying to say. They've thought about you. Now, will the picture be just as good as 4K? No, it's not going to be. But know that you will see improvements. There'll be improved textures. You'll get improved loading times, improved draw distances. You basically get everything that the X provides except for the 4K visuals. And one of the things I worried about was developers taking advantage of the X's power. And so far, the third-party developers from the games I played have done so. Assassin's Creed Origins looks amazing. Middle-earth Shadow of War looks fantastic. The recently patched Titanfall 2 looks incredible. Wolfenstein 2, such a great-looking game. Star Wars Battlefront 2, the list goes on and on. But of course, I would be remiss not to mention that not every game is like that. Not every game is going to have a huge jump. Super Lucky's Tale looks better, but not that much better. A couple of the other games like World of Tanks and Disneyland Adventures, and not every developer is going to put as much effort into their games, but I am impressed by what I've seen originally with the current titles out there, that I have faith's not maybe a good word, but I have a great feeling that developers will take the time and optimize for the system. So when Far Cry 5 comes out, when Monster Hunter World comes out, when Red Dead 2 come out, those will be better or the best version on console, and I don't think there will be any parity whatsoever. Another thing that I wanted to talk about was the size of these downloads and how that might affect your ISP. So Gears of War 4 runs at 103 gigabytes. Forza Motorsport 7 runs at 95. Even Quantum Break, if you want the game and the show, is about 180. These are huge downloads, and not every ISP is the same. I've already hit my data cap for the month with Comcast, which is 1 terabyte. Luckily, that won't impact me very much, but that might not be your situation with your ISP. So you have to keep that in mind when you get the system and start downloading all of this content, because you don't want to go over and you don't want to have to pay extra. And what else you also have to think about is storage space. The X comes with a standard 1 terabyte hard drive that only has about a usable 730 gigs. And I mentioned a lot of these games are huge on the file size, so you're probably more than likely going to have to invest in some external storage space. Luckily, those are pretty cheap. You can get 2 terabytes for like $50, 4 terabytes for around 100, and that's good. Now, Microsoft also has made it easy to identify what games are enhanced. When you go to your My Games and Apps section, there's a pull-down menu to click on Xbox One X Enhanced Games, and it'll show you all the games that currently have something specific done to them to make them X enhanced, whether it's 4K patches, whether it's like better draw distances or whatever. Those games have something specifically done for them. But the console also improves games that aren't Xbox One X enhanced. I mean, you've heard the stories about Witcher 3. If you have the disc version, that runs at 60 frames. The system always is running in a boost mode, so it makes even games that don't have work done for them, it makes them better. It makes them run at a higher resolution if they have dynamic scaling, or a higher frame rate if their frame rate's unlocked. So you get the benefit from the games specifically made for the system and games that weren't. And if you're a big fan of backwards compatibility, whether it's the Xbox 360 or the original Xbox, those games will run better. Gears of War 3, Mirror's Edge, Fallout 3, Assassin's Creed all look fantastic now. And even my buddy's been telling me he's been playing Ninja Gaiden Black and it looks never has looked better. So if backwards compatibility is your thing, then the system is going to improve your experience on that. Personally, I've always said I have no use for backwards compatibility. I like the idea of all the Xbox games being on one platform, which is fantastic. I just personally don't have any use for 360 and Xbox One, but hey, that's just me. That's not you. You may love the fact that you want to revisit these 360 games, and Microsoft has made a console that will make those games run and look better. So at the end of the day, I am completely, thoroughly impressed by the Xbox One X. I think it is completely worth its $500 asking price. Every time I load up a new game, I am blown away by the visuals and performance that the system offers. And I've said it before, but I'll say it again. If you are a primarily Xbox gamer, someone who plays really only or mostly on the Xbox, whose friends are here, whose purchases are here, I think you owe it to yourself to get this upgrade. Now, would I recommend it to the PlayStation gamer or the PC gamer? That's a tough call. Only you can, determine for yourself whether or not you think the system is worth the asking price. And yeah, I know the big elephant in the room about the exclusive game situation, and I've said my piece about it. Microsoft needs to do better in that area, but I am incredibly impressed. I mean, I've said that I don't know how many times in this review, but I think Microsoft has knocked it out of the park with the system, and hopefully they knock it out of their park with the next set of exclusives they are going to make. So that is my review of the Xbox One X. It's a system that I look forward to turning on every day and playing all the new games that are Xbox One X enhanced in the future. I can't wait to see what some of these developers come up with next. Anyways, guys, that is the video. I hope you enjoyed my review and look at the Xbox One X. If you did, make sure to hit that like button. Share this out on social media, whether it's Twitter, Facebook, or Reddit. Subscribe to the channel if you're new or haven't already. Make sure to hit that notification bell icon so you're always notified when I drop new content. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and I'll see everybody in the next video. Later, guys.